Are there any messages my dog Winston has? Is your dog Winston alive or passed? Excuse me, that cup. Hello, Gail. Monet. I love to say her name. Winston is alive. Give me a breed. Winston is alive and well. And what is the breed? 3.5 golden. Okay. 3.5 golden. And you are a female, correct? Because he says mama. Who am I talking to? Oh, Emily. Okay, yeah. Never mind then. So, I do get a big freaking baby. I get like the biggest baby. I get the biggest mama's boy that I've ever... He comes in like proud. A proud mama's boy. Do you understand that, Emily? I'm talking to Emily, correct? Yes, he is alive. Yes, I'm talking to Emily. Yeah, he is. All right. I also, let's see, any messages from Winston? So he brought up food a little bit earlier and he's bringing up food again. So there's been a change in food, or he's asking for something that you used to make that you no longer make. And he's showing me something that is handmade. It, like you're literally like at the stove making it. Do you understand this? Yeah, Alexis. So for anyone who doesn't know, I am a psychic, an evidential medium, and an animal communicator, all rolled into one big bundle of ADHD. So welcome. Do you understand that, Emily? Yes, I think... She said, yes, I think so. I'd make him breakfast, eggs and bacon, but we'll give him peanut butter or handmade. Oh my gosh, he loves that. He loves that. But for some reason he says, and it could just be that he's getting greedy. He says he hasn't had it lately. I love that. I'm going to screenshot. She makes him eggs and bacon. Oh my God. And handmade snacks. I love that. He is basically saying how, oh, Debbie, I love it. Is it 11:11? Hell yeah. Let me focus. Emily, that's his message. He loves that. He loves the time, the effort, and the tastes. He's like, he loves all the little different tastes in there. He's very taste orientated. So that is something that he looks forward to. That is something that he feels like he's not getting as often. That may or may not be true. The animals aren't always completely, it's not that they're not honest. It's that they just see it a little differently than we do. Oh, he needs to lose maybe 5 or 10 pounds, but he looks good to me. I do see a little more need for exercise, but I see it for you as well, Emily. So if that makes sense for you, that you also need more sunshine. All right. Thank you for the follows, guys. If you're new here, my name is Mariana. There you go, Emily. If you're new here, my name is Mariana. I am a psychic and evidential medium and an animal communicator and a nonverbal communicator, all rolled into one happy bag of ADHD. Also, starting to transition away from, you're welcome. I'm going to be transitioning away from some of this content into different content. And I will also be doing, I do bring it through past animals, Nina. Absolutely. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Killian. Thank you for the follow, Jess. I'm going to be doing a workshop. So if you are a medium on here watching me, I'm going to be doing an advanced workshop on messages. Advanced. I'm just making myself a note because I say these things and then I forget them. So for the mediums, well, honestly, this could be for the animal communicators as well. I'm going to be doing an advanced workshop just on messages. So it doesn't necessarily matter if the messages come from animals or from passed over people. And what are we right now? We are, what is today? What is today? What is happening right now? Oh, I went to October. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, so today is the 17th. I am thinking thinking like December 9th, which is a Saturday. I wonder, I'm going to put that down, workshop, and I'll think about that some more. I might do it sooner though, depending on what everyone wants. Okay. So let me read some of these questions. I do bring through past over animals. Alexa says, I would rather talk to my dog over a past loved one. I know that's sad. No, it's not. It's not. It's unfortunately, it's kind of life right now, Alexa. So don't feel bad at all. And frankly, if those people wanted you to remember them more kindly in death, they should have been less assholes in life. That is my message for you, Alexis. I didn't make this as hot as I thought I did, so now I feel like I have to shove it down. Bailey says, can you maybe see if Diesel or Daisy is around? We'll come back to that, Bailey, just because I want to go through the questions, also and talk about the workshop and just answer any questions also. Jeannie says, my ex-fiance passed away but visited me recently. Very cool. Any word? So I might tap in a little bit more as we go on. Just got on here, so let's just kind of have some conversation first. I did already tap into a dog, but I'm very ADHD. Excuse me. Alexis says, I can't talk to animals, but can past loved ones. But you can talk to past loved ones, just not yours. So you can talk to yours, but it's a different experience. You know what I'm saying, Alexis? So what happens is, can I have a conversation with my mom? Absolutely. I just have to trust that the conversation is real. And I have to trust that what she's telling me is an actual conversation. Does that make sense? So we can talk to our own past loved ones. It's just that when you come to a medium, or for example, Alexis, if you're a medium as well, what you're giving people is an experience. What you're giving people is the camaraderie. You're giving people a human voice, body, energy. So can you talk to your own people? You guys can. You should. You already do. But when you come to a medium or an animal communicator, because most people on here, and Debbie can tell you, she's working right now, so she's probably just listening. But she can tell you is that she was having conversations before she ever came to me as a teacher, but she didn't know what to do with them necessarily. Does that make sense? And so when you go to an animal communicator or a medium, the experience is also the closure and the healing and frankly, part of the fun. Hello, Hannah. You changed your avatar picture. Killian says, I am clairvoyant through dreams and claircognizant. So here's what I would tell you, Killian, is putting all those big words around what you can do and what you can't do is kind of unnecessary, right? So clairvoyant, I think, is all-knowing, clear knowing. Here's what I have: clear knowing, clear seeing, clear feeling, clear tasting, clear smelling. Basically, it's our senses. You don't even have to put the word clear in front of it. We see, we feel, we hear, we know things. And all these fancy words, a lot of times are just marketing. We're all claircognizant and clairvoyant, all of us, every single one of us. And so when we divvy it up and give it a name and kind of put the word or the ability on a pedestal, we're not understanding that we're all that way. We are literally all that way. Now, where you might shine through your dreams could be very unique to you, but there are others, right? But that might be where you shine. Sorry, one of my alarms just went off. I literally just said to, anyways. Okay, I'm good, Hannah. Thank you. I had a really wild day yesterday. So for anyone, again, who doesn't know, my name is Mariana. Please do click the free likes. Those do help with the algorithm. Please do share. Please do follow, especially if you're in here asking questions. Please make sure you're following. I have had people in the past, like I give them a whole damn reading and they weren't even following. I'm like, well, that was stupid of me. All right, excuse me. Oh, but Hannah, yesterday, and this is a very, I don't know if it's a very American thing, because obviously it happens in other countries as well, but there was a shooting across from where I work at the courthouse, and some guy shot some other guy just dead in the street, and we heard the shots. So I work in an office environment on a floor in a kind of a high rise, and there's huge windows, and so the acoustics made it sound as if there was a shooter in my workplace, in my building. Like it felt like it came from down the hall. And I'm like, I stopped. I was like, those are shots. That's shots fired. And it turned out, and then someone else had heard it as well. And he said it's at the courthouse. And so we all looked out the window, and it was very, and so all we could see are people running. We see a cop. There's this shooter. He starts to run. He dropped his gun. The cop was Johnny on the spot, and he pulls his gun. This guy, does this, goes down. He gets arrested. Meanwhile, the people that were with this person that got shot, they're obviously in distress. They're obviously losing their business, and it was just so surreal. And it just made me think, unfortunately, and any Americans on here will understand this, it made me think of our children when they have to go through this. They're feeling what I'm feeling now times 100, because the shooter was not in my building. Had the shooter been in my building, obviously that would have been a different story. It was very isolated, so it was probably gang related. But it was crazy. It was crazy, and I don't know why I saw it. Like, you wonder sometimes, like, why the universe like put this in my experience, but why? So anyway, Alexis says, I sadly always try to have someone connect to my family, but they never come through. So maybe my dog. So Alexis, we could do, how many people do you have? Let's see. Oh shit, you have 49,000 followers. You're only 20. So do you have dead people that you know well that you would want to connect to? Does that make sense? Because I can always try to connect with you. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I think 75% of the people on this app are fake. I think 25% of the people in this niche are real. And finding that real person is a struggle. It really is. Ed is a big mug. Hannah likes my mug. Hannah's in Hungary, for everyone that doesn't know. I just find that fascinating and just so cool. I also talked to someone today on an appointment that was in Belgium. All right. Frankie says, oh, Frankie, I'm so sorry. Anything from my daughter Jessica that passed. So Frankie, I feel a lot of skepticism around you, and I feel like, so I'm just going to ask you this, and please don't take offense to this. Do you actually have a daughter, Jessica, that passed? Could you go ahead and put that in the comments for me, please? And I am not trying to be mean. Oh, Alexis, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Yeah, and I would have immediately asked for money back. I did a reading the other day for someone, and I did bring through her grandma, but it just wasn't at the level that I like to do. Does that make sense? Like, I have a certain standard. And so, yes, I did bring through her grandma, but it just wasn't jiving. You know what I mean? And then she kept saying, well, just bring through whoever. And I brought through 3 people, and she couldn't take any of them. And then grandma she took grandpa. That's right. So I brought through 3 more, and she took grandpa, but she didn't know him well. I refunded her money. We were 12 minutes into it. We just weren't clicking. The connection just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I just told her, I said, I apologize, but today does not look like it's going to be that kind of a reading. And so I'm going to refund your money. And I thanked her for booking with me. I assured her that it had nothing to do with her or her loved ones. It's just that those things happen. Oh, I will refund in a heartbeat. Yeah, yeah. Now, if I do a whole hour reading and I've hit on 4 of your people and then you ask for a refund, I'm going to be like, no. Does that make sense? Yeah, thank you. Alexis says, I learned to watch people before I go and pay them. That is 100%. That's 150%, Alexis. Here is the danger in that. And I'm going to educate a little bit since, why not, right? It's my time. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Em. People can, what is that called? So I was sitting here thinking of ways to put parameters around how to figure out who's really a medium and who it really isn't a medium. Does that make sense? And so for the people that I teach, I know that they have no idea what I'm about to say in a class experience. Even if they had taken a class with me before, everything is always going to be a little bit different with the next class because I do them in person on Zoom. So obviously not in person, but I do them in person on Zoom. And so I know that they don't know what I'm going to say. And so I know when they're real. Does that make sense for my students? But on this app, I started saying, well, if they're not reading on a live from the comments, then they're not real. Well, then one medium that I am just 150% sure she's just a hot reader, she's just completely fake, started reading on lives. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. So then I'm sitting there going, okay, what could I do if I was a shyster? What could I do to make it look like I was reading on a live? I could plant people in my comment section and make sure that I pick them. Whether they're fake or whether I just have the information because I'm hot reading, that's what I could do if I was full of shit. And I think that's what she does. The person that I'm referring to, which may be a he or a she. So, even if you can watch them. The other thing I used to do was I would say, if you can't go direct as a medium, why not? Why are you not going direct as a medium? And on my TikTok 1.0, I got dragged by certain mediums. I mean, just dragged, like through the dirt, run over, backed up over. And they would call me unethical, and it was a whole thing. Guess who goes direct now? That same medium and her little entourage of cult minions. But it is a way of also proving, because if, for example, Alexis, I would want to know who you would want to talk to relationship-wise, and then I would try and go get that person. But see, a medium who's hot reading, unless you only have one dead person, but a medium who is hot reading or cold reading or a combination of hot cold reading, they can't go direct, which is why I think a lot of... All right, let me know when I'm back. All right, I think I'm back. Okay, I'm back. There was an alarm I had to turn off. So, I was talking about going direct. And here's the thing. An experienced, developed medium should be able to go direct. An experienced, developed medium should be getting messages with every reading. Within reason. There's always going to be exceptions. Alexis says, I'm a medium and at times I get things wrong, but it happens. Absolutely. Anybody that is 150%, well, I take that back. Some readings are just better than others. And it's just the nature of the beast and the nature of energy. I have had readings where everything has been spot on. But then, for example, I did a reading on here the yesterday, I don't even know. And I put it on YouTube, by the way, if anybody wants to go look at it on YouTube. And I brought through a random dog. And I was like, did you have this dog? And she couldn't place the dog. So the reading was going killer, right? The reading, oh, heck yeah, we're killing it. Rando dog. Do you know this dog? No. You can't place this dog at all? No. Okay, well, I'm going to put the dog to the side and then keep going on, right? And so that's where your integrity comes in, because you can say, if you don't recognize the dog, you don't recognize the dog. I'm not going to sit here and tell her she's wrong because Spirit's always right. I'm going to place the dog to the side. And by the way, this is how I teach. These are the kind of conversations I have when I teach. I'm going to place the dog to the side, and I'm going to keep going with the reading that we were doing well. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to beat myself up about it or whatever. Carissa, I thrive on tarot readings. All right. Let's see. I'm going backwards because it just did all the messages. Goodness gracious, what is happening here? Okay, there were a lot of messages. Okay, that's a big mug. Okay, we hit that. Okay. How come I've never heard, so if Brooke is still in here, how come I've never heard my loved ones? So I think you mean from your loved ones. So for you specifically, Brooke, I hope you're still in here. You have a lot going on. You are very busy up here. You are very busy. You are also trying, and I say this with love, a little bit too hard. You need to relax a little bit. You need to let other people make their own mistakes, and you need to really concentrate on what's going to start getting you ahead. And so, oh, thank you so much, Sissy. Oh, Sissy. Oh, I wonder if that's the same Sissy. That might be a different Sissy. Did you change your name, Sissy? Anyway, Brooke, my apologies. Hold on. So what can happen is that we try too hard. We get into our thinking brain, and then we see something and we're like, well, that can't be it. And there's this old story about Jesus and this guy who is drowning, right? And Jesus, and he's drowning. He's like, Jesus, save me. Jesus, save me. And a canoe goes by, and he was like, well, that won't work. I can't remember the joke exactly, but you'll get the gist. And then a canoe went by, but he didn't like it. And so he didn't use that canoe, right, to save himself. And then Jesus, save me. Jesus, why won't you save me? Why won't you save me? And then something else goes by, and he doesn't use that to save himself. And then something else goes by, and he doesn't use that to save himself, right? So the moral of the story, if you will, is Jesus is like, I sent you ways to get yourself out of this mess, and you didn't use them because you were waiting for this big sign or this big elaborate thing. And so what happens is we're waiting for these big elaborate signs where, on a billboard it says your mom loves you, right? And that isn't necessarily how it's going to happen. And so it could have been the butterfly that landed on your hand. It could have been the penny that you picked up in the parking lot at the Walmart. It could have been, I got a sign one day. I was driving, and this obnoxious yellow car drove by, and my dad's nickname was on the license plate. Right? So it isn't always what you expect. All right. Oh, user 807-33209-44754 left you a review on Google, but I can't see it unless I search on my profile. June and Raja's puppy. I will have to check that out. I do know that sometimes if you only have like one review, email me if you don't mind, and then I'll check that out, because that's the way I'll remember, because even if I write it down, I won't remember after we get off of here. But thank you for the review. Killian says, that makes more sense than how I've been told before. Thank you. Absolutely. You're welcome. I did ask Frankie if he really had a daughter, Jessica, and so I think that I did. I think he was a skeptic. I think that was trick. Maybe not. I don't know, but that is why I ask sometimes. Brooke says, how come I talk to my past loved ones and I don't hear them? So it isn't hearing as if, here's the thing. What if you're talking to your past loved one and you just keep getting the taste of chocolate? And you're like, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I don't see you. I don't hear you. But you keep getting the taste of chocolate, and you can't figure out why you taste chocolate. And your mother used to make you hot chocolate. You might be getting the signs in a different way. It doesn't always have to be hearing. It doesn't always have to be knowing. It doesn't always have to be seeing. you might be getting signs in a different way. What if you're talking to your passed over loved ones, you turn on the radio and there's a song that reminds you of your mother? Bam, right? That's a sign. So we're looking for something. You're looking to hear them, and they may be trying to communicate a different way. They may be trying to show you something. They may be trying to give you something, a dime on the ground, a feather. Those are the common kind of signs, right? So be a little more open to your different senses. You're not just going to hear them. It might be different for you. Bailey says, I just always feel like there's someone or something around me at all times and I never feel alone. I think that's both good and creepy, right? I'm teasing you, Bailey. I agree. And after I started really tapping into spirit, and I had my spirit team, and I would sit down and try and think of something, and I would get a really good idea or something. I'm like, this came from spirit. I wonder if I've ever had any original ideas. I wonder if I'm just one big spirit team little do-gooder, right? Am I just doing the bidding of spirit all the time? So I love that you never feel alone, though. And I do also consider that a comfort. I bring my mom in. Bless my mom's heart. She was... I'm not going to put her down. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, it was scary. Alexa says I do my nanny, but I think my other grandmother interferes a lot too. That's hilarious. Em agrees. Alexa said I had a reading before. Okay, we already talked to that one. We already talked about that one. Okay, let me go down a little bit. Simone did a reading for my dog, got a few on point, but then they were like, this isn't for you, and moved on. I said, ouch, rude. Oh. So... if you're not developed enough and you start getting stuff wrong and you blame it on spirit or the sitter, then integrity-wise or development-wise or even maturity-wise, that was rude, Alexis. That was definitely rude. Because here's the thing. Let's say that I did bring through a different dog. Let's say I was reading for Alexis and I brought through a different dog and she's like, oh, I can't take that. And I'm like, okay, can someone else take that? Someone else does take it. I don't just immediately forget about Alexis, right? What I would do instead is I would say, oh, okay, all right, well, why don't you hang tight because your person or dog or animal or whatever is coming through, and we'll go back to Alexis. Now, I should be able to, as a developed animal communicator, be able to get back to Alexis's dog and finish that conversation. Then, as a developed person, I should be able to go back to the other person's dog and find out why it was coming through. Does that make sense? So we have, it is a free app, right? But I think we have kind of a responsibility to the people who are in our comment section, who are following us, providing content. Sissy, is that my sissy? Providing content, following us, interacting with us, leaving comments with us. I have a responsibility to you guys as well, because without you, I wouldn't have a channel. So if you're going to be rude to people, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Aw, I love that. I'm going to user 807, which I'm apologize for not being able to place you at the moment, but she said I can vouch for this lovely lady. She's fantastic. Thank you. Em said, I need to get into your classes to open up more. I am trying to do the videos so that I could be in more places. I really want to be available for every single Zoom class, but I still have a 9-to-5. And there's a lot of people on here. And if you're getting into this niche, don't give up your full-time job, in my opinion. I have been glad so many times that I didn't just jump in balls deep into this and think that I was just gonna, soar to the top, right? It's a very fickle niche. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, darn it. Since I'm going down very slowly, Leanne said, oh my God, yes. And I'm not sure at what, sorry. Debbie is rolling her eyes, but she got my name right. Jenny says valid. Alexa says, I never stay on lives long at all, but just feels comfortable here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You don't know how to explain it? Me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking around. Healthy Journey says, how would you know who is real or fake? One, I can usually feel it, right? And you could too if you are tapped into your intuition. So Healthy Journey says, how would you know who is rude or fake? Sorry, I started to unfocus. Another way is shotgunning. So if somebody is just shotgunning out there, so for example, Healthy Journey, if I were to sit here and say, did your mother die? Did your mother die? Oh, was it your mother? It was your, well, I have a woman here. So did your grandmother die? And you may be wanting to talk to a female cousin. So they might, so there's a level of, they do bring through some info, and then they also cold read, and then some even hot read, right? So if I'm asking you questions, that isn't real mediumship. If I say, however, if I say, would you understand or recognize a female who is past, who feels like a mom vibe, could be a grandma, but what if your aunt was actually your mother, right? So there are some nuances. So let's say it was really your aunt, but I'm saying mom vibe. But then I describe her. She has dark hair, she has blue eyes, she has kind of a prominent nose, and she has, she feels like she was self-conscious about her lips or her mouth for some reason. Now we have a very specific set of parameters, right? So then you would say, oh, I know who that is. It's my aunt, but she was like a mom to me. Do you see how there's nuances within it, right? But someone who's constantly asking you questions or saying, I see the number 36. What does it mean? I don't fucking know what it means. You tell me what it means. Like, you're the one seeing it. So on the one hand, we're not supposed to interpret what we get, but on the other hand, just throwing a number out there and expecting someone to be like, for example, the number 36. I was doing a reading the other day. It was how old she was. And I said, would you understand, I'm getting the number 36. Would you understand that's how old you are or how old your niece was? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, well, which one? Right? What was how old she was? So yes, I did throw out 36, but then I also placed the information, which she has to understand and she has to accept. So there's a ton of nuances within this. And when you get the skeptical people, I'm just on a roll today. And when you get the skeptical people, they'll say, well, you got a first name. Why didn't you get a last name? Because that isn't how it works. So if it was how it works, I would win the lottery and you guys would never see me again because I would win the big one. You would see me again because I love this shit. But so those are some of the ways how you know someone is real or fake. Also, I have a whole playlist on my wall. You guys keep tapping for me if you don't mind, because that does help the algorithm. I also have a playlist on my wall about how to spot a fake. So, excuse me, there's a ton of information on that playlist. Alexa says some mediums are so rude. Some mediums are just mental. There's this one with red hair that she blocked me a long time ago, but just incredibly weird. So, Sissy, I need to know if this is my animal communication student, Sissy, because I swear your avatar and your name is different, and there can't be that many sissies out there. Alexis says, I like watching others work because I'm also a medium, so I like it, but some are just mean. Absolutely. Here's what I would challenge you, Alexis. Stop watching other mediums work because you end up with bad habits. What, in my opinion, and this is what I tell people who do come and do my classes, and this is what I personally did, I stopped watching everyone while I was learning and while I was developing because I didn't want their bad habits. In fact, a friend, and this is where this niche is so fickle, she used to be a friend. She's since blocked me because apparently, I don't know, maybe I'm too big for my britches, who fucking knows. Anyway, she's like, oh, so-and-so is on Instagram and sent me a link. And so I go there and I start to listen to his mediumship, and all he's doing is asking questions. He's guessing, and he may get a hit because you can only ask so many questions before you get a hit, right? He is not providing information. He is asking questions and trying to cold read. I turned it off immediately. I turned it off and closed the app and texted her back. I said, I can't watch that because that is not how I want to read. That is not how I will read. And I don't want any of that energy into my energy. I said when I started this, here's another thing. I had never had a tarot reading or a mediumship reading before I started all this. And I knew when I started that if it wasn't real, I didn't want any part of it. So it can be real. It can and is real for some people. When I started the tarot, all I did, I thought I was just going to learn 78 definitions. I thought I was just going to be like, oh, the Queen of Wands. This means that you have started a new business and you are, I legitimately thought that's what tarot was going to be like. The Ace of Pentacles, new money is coming soon. And you'll know there's some tarot readers on here like that, right? And then it grew, and then I became psychic, if you will, or I didn't become psychic because we're all psychic, but I guess I recognized the psychic. Then the cards started to talk to me. Then people started asking me to talk to dead people, and I was like, I can't do that. Can I do that? Let me try doing that. And so I started my mediumship through tarot, through the tarot cards. All right, let's see what else. Nina. So let's narrow it down. This is the other thing, is that you go into a live like this, right? And people are like, are you picking up on anything for me? Well, about your kids, about your dogs, about your husband, about your love life, about your lovers, about your work, there's too much. And what happens is it's so broad and so vague that I could give you something, it's called Barnum statements. I could give you something that says like, 10 of Wands, you feel overworked, and you might actually feel overworked. That does actually feel like it applies to you. But you see what I'm saying? That could apply to a lot of people. And so that's called a Barnum statement. And so when you come into these lives and you're like, are you picking up on anything for me? That doesn't get you anywhere. So for example, when I teach tarot and when I do tarot readings, I need you to come to me with questions. I need you to know your life well enough that you have an actual question about your life. And then I go in to pick up on that question. Does that make sense? You'll have people on here that are like, I can see your whole life and I can see your spirit team and I can see everything that's ever happened to you. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. There's this one guy and he didn't make it in Hollywood, so he got into this niche. That's my opinion. I don't know the guy personally. He used to say on here that he could see everyone's whole spirit team and what their jobs were and why they were with you. And I was like, wow, that sounds like a pretty tall order. And I called him on it. And this was back on my TikTok 1.0, I think. And he changed his spiel. I could see your whole spirit team and what they're here to teach you, but I would rather teach you how to do it. I would rather you figure out who your spirit team is. I was like, oh, well, that was convenient, wasn't it? Okay. Hello, Chrissy. Yes. Hey, Gigi. Whoops. It went flying. All right. Da-da-da-da. Sorry for making those noises. I know they're super loud on the... Jennifer, how are you? It's my Canadian lady. Okay. There was a lot of comments. I guess I'm going too slow. I better start talking faster. My bad. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Wow. Okay. There's Gigi. Okay. Alexa says, thank gosh, I'm not the only one who puts spirits and things to the side. Oh, no, not at all. Yeah. But Alexis, that's to me, that is an advanced move. And so you just, in my, humble opinion, you don't have to take my opinion for anything, any of you. In my humble opinion, that's a sign of development, right? That's a sign of discernment. Because if you have someone that came in, especially when you have a whole room full of people, if you have someone that came in that isn't focused on the reading you're doing, put them to the side. Put them to the side. Hello, Colleen. Thank you. That was fun. Leanne says, hey lady, I got a new dog after healing from my old one. Do you see Charlie being happy here? Leanne and Charlie. I do. I mean, why won't they be, right? You're going to give him 3 hots and a cot. But I see that this dog is possibly a little messier than what you planned on getting, Leanne, if that makes sense for you. And that you're going to have some patience, because I see mud and dirt and water and just, would you understand, Leanne, that you're a tiny bit of a neat freak? And so this might try your patience a little bit. So, keep that in mind. Alexis says, I feel since I'm a medium, I'm blocked for others to read. Sometimes that's very true, Alexis. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound egotistical, and I don't mean it that way. You might be, how do I say this? You're fucking good at what you do, and not everybody can read people who are fucking good at what they do. Okay? So it would be like Blake Shelton. It'd be like a beginner country singer trying to read Blake Shelton. Do you see what I'm saying? I guess you would have to know country music for this to work. But sometimes you're up here and you need someone higher to read you. And when you get someone who isn't as discerning or as advanced or as developed, they're not reading you very well because they're just kind of not, I don't want to say vibration. I fucking hate that whole vibration shit. It's just a matter of discernment and development. Do you see what I mean? So it makes it harder to connect with my spirits. I don't know. No, don't give me any excuses, Alexis. You got this. So it's not harder to connect to your spirits. It's, we're just making this a class for Alexis. Is that harder? I think you try too hard. I was teaching my class, was that just last night? Yeah, I was teaching class last night, and I was like, the harder you try, the harder it gets. You have to stop trying. Okay. All right, Alexis. All right, I'm going to move on, Alexis, but I love you. All right. Jenny K says, my dad recently passed. If he's around, I'd love to hear from him. Jenny K and Dad. Jenny K and Dad. Let me know in the comments. We'll get down there to it if this resonates. He immediately brings up work. I don't know if this was his work, your work. It feels a little entrepreneurship if he was in business for himself. But he says you're underestimating your ability. You're just smarter than the people around you are giving you credit for, and you need to stop effing around, Jenny K. You need to stop letting people disrespect you, and you need to stop letting people talk down to you. And whoever this little condescending prick is in the corner of my consciousness, you need to go ahead and tell that person that you have some new boundaries and that they need to, they can kindly F off. Dad just gave us a whole... Dad's not fucking around. That was hilarious. All right. I still don't know if this Sissy Lee is my Sissy Lee, the one that's in my class. So I'm just going to keep going. She said she's, I love all the gifts though. Oh, Caitlin says, I have always been spot on. Thank you, ma'am. I love that. Des says, I smell my mother's perfume sometimes. That's when I know. I love that. Oh, I love that. So spirit is definitely here, because what happens to me when spirit's around, and also if I eat too much salt, is that my nose starts to itch. It drives me fucking nuts sometimes. And Dee says songs too. Absolutely. Crystal says, how do my readings work? You mean on a live or on Zoom? I'm not totally understanding your question, Crystal. Maybe, I'm not totally understanding your question. I apologize. Healthy Journey says, my friend would send a Miami Vice. That's hilarious. So Healthy Journey says, my friend would send Miami Vice. So if your friend is passed, they would make like a reference through the medium to Miami Vice. So excuse me, my coffee's coming back up. I'm not big on code words for sure, but I love that for you, especially if it happens routinely. Crystal says, signs from my grams are always showing me things that she always used to get. Love it. Love it. Killian said, there's this one smell that immediately brings my grandma to mind no matter what. I love that. And that is the same for me. It's my mom, and it's around Easter time, and it's some sort of an Easter flower that I can never remember the damn name to, but when I smell it, oh my gosh, I am immediately back in the house on the hill with the wood table. Oh, that'll make me cry. Oh, sorry. Good job, Killian. You made me cry. So yes, smells for sure. For sure. Oh, goodness. So I don't know if somebody's here because my nose this might not be for me. Well, we might figure that out. I'm not sure what's happening right now. Jenny sees butterflies when her mom is around. I love. Crystal says we always buy them, and it's always like, thanks, Grams. I love that. Debbie had to go back to work. Fucking work. Nina said, someone told me ideas are spirits that are waiting for someone to host them. I just screenshotted that, Nina. I love that. I love that. That very much resonates with me. Very cool. And thank you for the rose. We were just talking about my mom and flowers, and her favorite flower were roses. Nina. Whew. I came out of fucking nowhere. Thank you, Jennifer. Another rose. I love that. Okay. Dee says, I've just put together that I smell propane before someone in the family I know passes. Ooh. Wow. I don't know if I would want that one. I don't have a lot of family left, though. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for calling me gorgeous. Again, TikTok makes it easy. They make us pretty so that we'll make content. Killian says, I'm hoping to get a message from my young friend who I lost in 2017 and my grandma, Jackie. Well, you can't have both. Killian, I'm just going to go. Number one, your friend pops through very quickly, I believe. I believe this is your friend. Hopefully this resonates. I'm getting sailing a boat, and I'm getting now or never, shit or get off the pot, Killian. I'm not sure that their personality would have said it that way, but that's the vibe that I'm getting, is that there's certain things that you either want to do or you said you were always going to do, and one of them involves the ocean and or a boat, and that you're not getting any younger. So let me know if that resonates. All right, Alexis says, oh yeah, she completely left me and move on. She was mean. Oh man, what an asshole. All right, healthy journey. Can a dog express thoughts to you? Absolutely, and to you. So at its lowest level, animal communication is telepathy, which is just an exchange of thoughts, an exchange of conversation, an exchange of feelings, pictures, that sort of things. So absolutely. Chrissy says, can you have someone come through that didn't believe in mediumship? Yes, this is a great one. I'm going to put this one on TikTok or on YouTube. So, can you have someone come through that did not believe in mediumship? I get it all the time. And it's amazing. And I can usually feel it. And I'll say, you would understand that the person that we're having a conversation with right now did not believe in mediumship and would have thought this was evil, the devil's work, or they would have thought it was just a waste of money. So sometimes it's because of religion down here, and sometimes it's because they would have just thought it was a waste of money, and sometimes it's because it just wasn't in their wheelhouse. Like one time it was just a dad, he was a mechanic, he was very hands-on, he was a little bit like Archie Bunker. You know, he sat in his armchair and watched the news and ate dinner and then got up and did it all again the next day. So mediumship just wasn't in his wheelhouse. So it wasn't that he wouldn't have believed in it. It's just that he didn't know about it, if you will. So I do get people that come through. I get people that come through that were like, they were total skeptics in life. And in fact, I love it sometimes when I talk to these skeptics. I'm like, I can't wait for you to come through a medium after you're dead. I think it's hilarious. But yes. So the answer is yes. Lee Dog says, I really need to hear from my mom, but she didn't believe in mediums. Oh, well, we just covered that, right? We definitely just covered that. So Lee Dog, and you guys let me know if these resonate, and you should be following. You should be tapping. There's enough people in here. I should have way more likes. No offense. So make sure you're following, especially if I'm answering your question. So So Lee, I kind of get what I just said for your mom. It wasn't really in her wheelhouse, right? She didn't understand it. She was also kind of, I don't want to say introverted as much as she removed herself. She feels like she removed herself from a lot of interactions due to past hurts and pains. And that by removing herself, it allowed her to not get hurt again. Does that make sense for you, Lee Dog? And I feel like she either has well, I don't know how far to go with this because I can't validate it with you, but she's bringing up an aunt or someone who is like an aunt. And she's saying that this person either does the same or similar and really needs to stop because there's, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to get. I don't know if this is your aunt or someone that's older. I hate it when this happens because I can't validate. There's a romance that this woman who is somehow connected to your mother could let through if she would lower her walls, if she would lower the gate to her moat. Okay. So, yeah, let me know if that resonates. All right. Crystal says recently lost a pup. Would love to make sure she is okay on the other side. They absolutely are okay on the other side. They are thriving on the other side. They also can come back to you if you set your intentions that you want that animal to like recycle to you. I call it being recycled. A lot of people call it reincarnation. It's the same thing in my opinion. In fact, I believe that the animals that we get, not all of them, of course, but it's almost cyclical. I think that they come back to us. I have actually never seen the movie Marley and Me because I think I saw the trailer and I thought I'm going to cry through the whole thing. So I never watched it. But I think if I understand the gist of that movie, it's kind of the same idea. So she is absolutely okay on the other side. And I do feel like you have other animals, Crystal, and I don't know. This could be a past animal. I don't know. But I just see a very mean, sassy ass cat. And I don't know if it's for you or someone else. Oh, that is my sissy. Thank you. Colleen says ethical readers. And here's why I don't call them ethical, Colleen, is because a lot of people on this app will use the word ethical as a put down and a judgment if you don't do it the way they do it. My TikTok 1.0, I was inundated with people who were like, oh, she's unethical. She's this, she's that. The mean girl attitudes I used to get were just over the top. I was like, what is happening? Like, is this what this app is about? So I don't say ethical because my ethics may not be someone else's ethics, but I do say responsible. So I use the term responsible readers because the term responsible is going to be what I believe is responsible. Does that make sense? And that is not a judgment towards other readers. Other readers can do things the way they want to as long as they're real. I don't give a shit, right? Courtney says, you picked up on my energy immediately. It was fascinating. Oh, that's right. I remember your name. That's cool. Then she says, can you pick up on if someone is a medium but hasn't gotten the hang of it yet? Yes, usually. So what happens is I just feel that they're very intuitive. Or if I'm doing like a medium or a tarot reading, I will get the star is usually very intuitive people. The Ace of Swords is very clear knowing. And so sometimes when I'm doing a tarot reading, this is how I can also pick up on if people, the Empress, very intuitive. And this includes men, even though those are primarily feminine cards, if you will. And then the Sun is just the highest yes in my deck. So let's say, and I had someone do this one time. They were like, oh, am I going to make it as a medium? And I ended up with the Sun, the High Priestess, and like the Ace of Swords. And I'm like, so you're already a medium. You already know that. And you're trying to trip me up and fuck with me to see if I'm real. And it turned out I was right? Because the Sun is like, oh, you're testing me. Okay, because this is the biggest yes. Now, having said that, obviously, there's going to be some people who aren't trying to trick me, who still get the yes. Come on, you guys, we're at 29,000 likes. Let's get to 35. Let's get to 35. But anyway, if I get the yes, like if I were to have gotten the yes for Courtney or for Alexis, let's say Alexis is already on here. She's saying I'm a medium, right? If I had gotten the yes for her, I'd be like, oh, so you're trying to trick me because you already know the answer to this question. was trying to find the High Priestess because I just love her. There she is. And in this deck, this is how she looks. And she's kind of floating. And she looks a little bit scary, but if you think about it, sometimes these skills that we cultivate can be a little bit scary, right? All right. Chrissy loves me. Thank you. Kay says, God loves you. You have a great rest of your day. Just here reminding you that's all. I just dropped a card on that. I was like, if it's the devil, I'm going to freak out. That would have been funny though, right? God loves you. Oh my God, the devil fell out of my tarot deck. God does love me. God loves us all. Who God is, who knows? Jennifer says, Mariana's fantastic. Thank you, Jennifer. Vivian says, is P messing with me? Yes. Vivian. Sissy, I love you too. Hey, Sissy, did you get your deck yet? Did you get your, how was that called? Lightseers deck? Allison says, having a hard time with the loss of my dog. Is she okay? So we did cover that. Yes, our animals are very much okay on the other side. I have never brought an animal through who had any animosity toward their owner. Of course, I also don't get people who are dickheads to their animals because they don't pay for animal readings, right? Hello, Surfer Girl Kim. I am doing so much better today. I told a story earlier about, unfortunately, I saw basically a man get shot to death yesterday at across the street at the courthouse in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Healthy Journey says, play the odds. Yes. So when fake readers are doing the Barnum statements, they are very much playing the odds. I think that's what you're referring to, but that's what popped into my head. So Leanne says, so you talked to my dad, told me things I didn't know that night. He showed me his life before me. How cool. How cool. Spiritual plumber. I need a spiritual plumber. Are you straight? I'm kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. Very few straight guys in this niche. They exist. Leanne says a dream video. That's so cool. So those are called dream visitation, or this is what I call them anyways. I think that's what a lot of people call them. That is amazing. Those are so cool. Those are so cool. Just Jess says, so do you see that person in your head? Yes. So it's like, kind of like, it can be like a movie reel. It can be just body parts. I was doing a reading for a girl. Was this just yesterday, day before? Her name was Miriam. And I could see her niece, but it isn't like I saw her niece in this apparition thing, right? I didn't like see, what I saw was pow, pow. She had booby and boobs, right? And so what I saw was vivacious, and I saw personality. And then I saw pow, pow. And I was like, whoa, she had a figure, right? So it isn't like they just appear before me, right? And they're not these weird holographic things. They're a combination of feelings and knowing and bits and pieces. Like I did this one guy, I was down in Pueblo, and I've told this story before. He came through. It was really misty for some reason, but he came through and he goes, boo! And all I saw were two big hands and just like the face, but really I really saw was his prominent nose. And he's like, boo! And I said, would you understand that your dad was a jokester who liked to scare people? And she was like, yes! I said, would you understand that he had a prominent nose? Yes! Okay. You see where I'm going here? All right. Spiritual Plumber says, spot on. Thank you, sir. Well, I shouldn't. Damn it. I assumed your gender, but your avatar looks like a man. So that's what happens. All right. And thank you. Courtney loves my honesty. Thank you. It actually, I have tempered my honesty so I don't come off as rude also. Colleen loves this shit. I love it too. Lottery would be nice. Gigi, dude. I did try some horse racing betting, and if I had more time, honestly, I hit 3 out of 4 horses. I placed in 3 races, but I don't know how to, I don't understand the intricacies of horse betting. So I did place 3 out of 4, but I didn't win a lot of money because I don't understand it. So what I really need is someone who understands horse betting, because I understand horses. I'm an animal communicator. I'm psychic. Now, is it always going to work? Probably not, but at least I could give it a damn try, right? M Headphones Heart says, what languages can ye speak? Old English? Is that old English? I only speak English, but that doesn't mean that the people that I bring through need to speak English, because again, it's telepathy, feelings, emotions, and any medium that you see on here that's like, oh, and then I started talking Brazilian and then Spanish and I said a Chinese word. Now, can you say a word that you don't necessarily understand? Yes, I have seen that happen. It hasn't happened to me, although I did say mija one time. Which I think is beloved daughter, I believe. But I don't speak any other languages, and you don't need to speak any other languages. And anyone on here saying like, I can understand foreign languages, or I spoke a foreign language, I'm a little suspect of, because it just hasn't happened to me. Meg says, if you ain't tapping, you napping. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're up to 36.7. Let's get to 42. Fuck yeah. Okay. Sissy says, no, it's me. I did try to sign up, but did not get to the right page. But I'll be... Oh, you're not my sissy. There's another sissy? I know two sissies now. The sissy I'm referring to lives in Tennessee. So she's like... She lives in a fucking holler. I sent her... So she won a tarot deck. Thank you, Shawnee. I had sent her a tarot deck, and in my entire life, I have never wrote lick hollow. I love my sissy, so don't get me wrong. It's not you. Okay. Oh my gosh. And will I find love? Well, woo! Ace of Cups, girlfriend. Opened it right to the Ace of Cups. This is a hard yes. One of the things, though, immediately that I kind of felt from you, if I might, who am I talking to? Anne. I felt resistance. Like immediately when I read the question and kind of just sat just for a second in your energy, I felt resistance. So remember to clear your energy and open your energy up if you're looking for love. But okay. So I do tarot readings, right? And I was doing this tarot reading for this one gal, and the whole reading started with, I don't need a man, but will I find love? Well, if you don't need a man, what is your energy saying to the world? What is your energy saying to any man that walks by? Your energy is like, I don't fucking need you. I really want some dick. I don't fucking need you. I wonder if I'm ever going to get dick again. Right? So if your energy is saying one thing, but your body or your person or whatever is saying something else, which energy do you think that people feel first? They feel the energy that says, I don't need you first. Okay? So make sure that you clean out your energy and you say, I do want a man, or I do want love, or I do want dick, right? Or hell, I guess I assumed your sexuality. Whatever genital you would like to indulge in, you have to open up your energy to being welcoming to that. Nina says, everyone can read tarot, but not everyone can read tarot. Totally agree. Hello, Arizona. All right, Linda says, will I marry Jerry? Ooh, I think you know the answer to this. You ended up with the High Priestess. I picked it up and then I set it back down. You ended up with the High Priestess. So will you marry him? I think you already know the answer to that. And you should follow your gut for sure. Did I get in touch with Death Becomes Him? I did. And then he's very busy apparently, which is amazing. Obviously so am I, but we're going to set something up, but then I had that incident yesterday where that shooting happened across from the building, and yesterday I definitely wasn't up for it, but I think we're going to set something up. Thank you. Cooley said, thank you for sharing your real story. I can't even remember what I said, but you are welcome. Mommy says, they say these talents sometimes develop through trauma. Is this true for you? Absolutely. Fuck yeah. So mama of 3 boys and then 22. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I also think it's inherent to each one of us. I think we're just born with these skills. I remember as a 3-year-old having imaginary friends. I remember when someone died, I don't even remember who it was. It was a grandpa figure, but they were at the end of my bed. I remember seeing ghosts and spirits and talking to people. And my entire family, oh, you have such a vivid imagination, Mariana, which is gaslighting for you're an idiot, right? I had a dysfunctional childhood. I then married into dysfunction. And then when I finally left that dysfunctional marriage, Spirit was like, and so we've been holding this for you. and and the more that I get into what I need, and the more that I, this is going to sound woo-woo, I don't usually use these words, but the more that I honor who I am inside and what I deserved and didn't get, the more ability I get. So, absolutely, Mama. Killian says, I'm hoping to hear, okay, we're not going to do any more tap-ins because I did tap in for you. So I don't know if you told me if it resonated. All right. All right. I'm going to, yeah, Nina, I probably was reading your second message. No worries. No worries, Sherry. Okay. So we're going into, reading questions now, and I'm just kind of having conversations. So if you have a conversation question, go ahead and stick it in there. If you have a conversation question, I'm going backwards. So let's see, I'm going backwards. Okay. Yes, I am using, okay, I went all the way back to 3 hots and a cot. Hey, Janice, I haven't seen you in here for a while. I went all the way back to Jennifer's 3 hots and a cot. So if your message was somewhere between where I stopped and that one, I am missing it. Okay. All right. All right. Yes, Charlize says, am I using tarot? I love tarot. I live to read my tarot. I fucking love it. Gigi says, thanks for the reminder. I need to get my dog a cot. Smart ass. All right. Vanessa says, is my deceased dog with my late husband, or is he still near me? Yes to both, because they are past. They would be together. Gene Simmons reading Kiss. Dang. I wish that the comments and my conversation could keep up with each other, but that is not the way it happens. Charlize says it is a vibration, though. I like the word frequency a little bit more. Probably just a personal, because I see so many people full of shit on this app going, I'm in a really high vibration, and like this person was way down here, and so they just didn't get me. They use it as an excuse. They use it as a put down. They use it as a judgment. I'm not saying you do, Charlize, but I hear it so much that I refuse to use it. Does that make sense? It's kind of like the ethical thing. Well, ethical mediums do it exactly like I do it. And anyone who doesn't do it like I do it isn't ethical. And I got that so much on my TikTok 1.0 that I'm like, you guys can fuck off, right? So I just don't use the term vibration. I do like the term frequency, but it's really just a case of discernment and maturity. I don't like the term ethical because it's really just a case of being responsible and not being an ass bag. All right. I'll just put universal comments so no matter where you're at, it fits. Yes, Night. Gigi's being a smart ass again. Annette! Haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you. It's nice to see you too. I feel like we followed each other at one time. Very cool. Charlize says, I have a spirit baby. I would love to connect. So I'm not going to connect anymore right now. So if you're in here for that, thank you for being here. Please do follow and please do like. I'm not going to do connections anymore at the moment. Gigi says she is not your sissy. I can't believe I have 2 sissies now. What are the fucking chances? And I almost watched Urban Cowboy again for the 200th time last night. Charlie says, yes, the nose edge. Absolutely. Sherry, I'm getting ready to have a few neck back. Oh, okay. Absolutely, Sherry, your parents are going to be with you for that. All your spirits are going to be with you for that. And you can always ask them to be with you for that as well. All right. All right. So Nina said that someone was my grandma. Aw. Did I just tell your story, Nina? and not even realize it? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I didn't realize it. Jen says, good afternoon. Okay, so I'm not doing any more messages at the moment, although my nose is starting to go nuts again. All right. Okay, I'm looking for regular conversations. Killian says, oh, how that resonates. I graduate college this year and I want to go on a cruise alone to celebrate. Yes. Yes. I love that, Killian. I love that. Please do. Please do. Unless it's a cruise that requires you to have a vaccine, in which case go on one that doesn't. Support the ones that want to support your medical autonomy. Anna of All Trades says, why is it harder to get messages from people who were really close to you? I think that's a hard one. And I think it's the same reason it's hard for me to talk to my own dogs, right? My own dogs, I'm like, you sons of bitches. But someone else's dog, I'm like in there going, da 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 da. You know, we're having a whole conversation. I think it's just the way the universe is set up, to be quite honest. All right, we got to 42,000. Let's get to 46, and then I'm going to have to get off of here and go pee. All right. Zamona says, I feel like I have abilities, but they seem to have gone away for the past couple of weeks. Then take a break. So we all have abilities. Number one, we all have this. Okay. And I liken it, if you haven't been here before, and if you haven't been here before, please do follow, like, share, all the business. And if I'm answering your questions, please make sure you're at least following, because that's just polite. We all have abilities, but I liken it to like Mozart, right? We can all play the piano, but are we going to play the piano at Mozart's level, or are we going to play the piano at maybe my level, right? Mozart he put all of his energy, his attention, his focus into piano. He went in balls deep, 24/7, 365. His piano was an extension of him. Okay. So are you going to be Mozart? Maybe not. But can you do it? Absolutely. Does that make sense? And then oh, good. There we go. I didn't have to go that far back. Okay. So when your abilities seem to have, quote, gone away, it's time to take a little bit of a break. It's time to remember to be human. It's time to maybe go have sex, go have a weekend away, maybe have chocolate, maybe indulge in a ski trip. Maybe it's time for you to go for a Sunday drive. Sometimes when it feels like they went away, we just need to take a break. All right. S. Thomas says, my best friend was skeptical. 45 minutes after she passed, I got a call from her phone. Oh my God. I love that. I love that. When my mom passed, I used to also get phone calls. So, quick story, my mom died of ALS. And so in ALS, you lose the ability to, she lost the ability to talk, but you lose your muscles. So she was still functioning, but she had lost her ability to talk. So she would do 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I love you. And so, woo, she's been gone since 95. So after she passed, I would randomly, and this is back when we still had the old, I'm old, so we still had the old cord phones, and I would pick up a phone for a phone call, and I'd hear, dink, dink, dink. I'd be like, I love you too, Mom. Woo. Christy says, your face should be hurting from tapping so much. Absolutely. You guys tap away. Let's get to 50. Lee Dog, yes, I was talking to you. Maybe I don't even remember now. I said it so long ago. I'm in romance, but I'm guarded. Yeah. Charlie says, yes, she's experienced that. Nina hasn't watched Marley either. No, because it just, I think it would just break my heart. Jenny didn't watch it either. Oh my gosh. Or she did, but yeah. All right. So Charlize, I'm not going to connect anymore right now. I do understand. And we can connect to babies, and anyone who says otherwise is not developed or is a fraud. All right. So I'm not going to connect anymore today. Our Ari, Ariany, says, how long have you been an evidential medium? So I believe I'm working on my 6th year, maybe longer. Time is a very weird thing for me. It's very elusive. 5 years, 6, in that realm. And I didn't know what evidential meant for a while. And then I got into a program where that, the evidence needed to come in and stuff. I was just answering questions when I first started. So it was interesting. Shawnee Burrito, which is hilarious, is being very emotional a sign that you have abilities, I think is what you're asking. I believe so, but that's because I'm very emotional. I'm incredibly emotional. I'm the biggest baby in the world. However, I'm also a fuck around and find out person, so I can be crying and hit you in the face. So is being very emotional a sign that you're an empath? For sure. Is it a sign that you have abilities? I think so, in my opinion, but that's because I am very emotional. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you for the shares. All right. Isn't this a beautiful deck? Yeah, Charlize. So this is called, this is by Lamushi Design, Lamuci, and it's out of Estonia, if I remember right. It's somewhere, it's over in the European, I'm super geographically stupid. But I believe it was Estonia. I could be wrong. It's Baroque. It's I love it. And it also is kind of dark. Like even the Four of Wands, which is a super happy card, you're like, oh, there's going to be some shadows, depending on how you read into it. But I see something new in the cards almost every time. Look at that one. Look at the Strength card. I love my cards, you guys. I legitimately never thought that I would love tarot cards like I do. Here's another one that I thought I didn't need. It's called the Influence of Angels Tarot. So I went to an event not too long ago up in Denver, and I completely forgot my tarot decks at home. Like I left them on the table because these are the tarot decks that I usually use at my events. I use my Light Seers deck, which I love, and then I use this Baroque deck, and I had left both of these like sitting on the counter. And so I walked by and this guy goes, oh, you need this deck. And I was like, no, I don't need an angel deck. Thank you. In all my bitchiness. Walked around. I came back and I was like, so sir, I owe you an apology. I do need that deck. And it was almost as like, as I'm walking around, the deck was like, listen, bitch, I'm still here. I'm I'm calling to you, So, for Charlize, excuse me, my nose is getting stuffy. Oh, love it. Okay, so for Charlize, very clear knowing. Look at this. This is the Ace of Swords. She already said she has literally Moon Trip Tarot, and she gets the Ace of Swords. The only one that's more knowing than that is the High Priestess, which I'm sure, she probably also has. But it might be calling you to work on your abilities as well, Charlize, and just kind of open up to a few more possibilities. I do feel like you tend to get into a rut, if you will, and you start to get comfortable in the definitions of the cards. So I might challenge yourself a little bit sometimes to go back. In fact, this one, I think it was this one, had a definition of the Tower card that I have never read before. Was it this one? It might have been this one. Damn it. But it was an amazing Tower card explanation. I might pull that out and give it if anybody wants to hear the Tower card explanation. You then get the King of Swords. And so to me, this is a very critical person in your life who tends to kind of downgrade you a little bit. And you take it because you're, well, number one, you're a softie and you don't say half the things you could say because you don't want to hurt people's feelings because you know what it feels like to get your feelings hurt. However, you need to start putting this motherfucker in his place. And then I do get the Fool for you. So this is a yes. If you had a question, the Ace of Swords is also a yes, but it's also new beginnings, right? So, and then I get the Five of Cups. You're tired, you're done. Five of Cups is a very emotional card. It's also about conflict and competition. It probably has something to do with King of Swords, whether that's a lover, a boyfriend, a brother, a dad, whatever. I'm not tapping in quite that far. But you can see this angel deck is just super fun. It's very different. It's very old-fashioned. Here's the Knight of Wands, right? It has gilded edges. It has a nice thickness. I like a nice thickness to my cards. All right, that was just a little weird. All right. Hello, Deborah. All right, so I'm not doing any more tap-ins, but if you have random questions about and then I just did it for Charlize. I'm only doing the tap-ins I feel like doing. How about that? Lee Dog says, hey, Carrie, thank you for the rose. Lee Dog says, I am a dog groomer. I listen to you while working. Your dog readings are spot on. I love that. How cool. I love that. Thank you. Sissy Lee, unfortunately, I'm not the student you're thinking of. I wish I was. Well, I teach. Oh, my nose is a little stuffy. Sorry, guys. You certainly could be. I do always set my intentions that the students I get are ready to dive in and be challenged and be. I'm surrounded by crystals today, and I'm not even sure why, but I love them. Look at this one, by the way. Isn't that the coolest thing? Isn't that cool as shit? So I do set my intentions that my students are very serious, that they're ready to be challenged, that they're not. I have gotten some people who take a class and then they fall off my radar, and I'm not sure if they think I've gotten too big for my bridges or if they just kind of got busy with life, or I'm never sure what happens when somebody who used to talk to you doesn't talk to you anymore or blocks you on here. And it's always very curious to me, like, did I not give you enough attention? Did I say something that offended you? Because once people are students with me, I'm a softie. I consider them friends. And so when they do block me on here, especially when they were a student, I'm like, what happened? What happened? Right? And it's just very weird. It's a very weird vibe. But not everybody's going to like me forever. And so if somebody has to move on, if that's their path, whatever, you know, I had them for a little while and then they moved on. I think that most of my students, I would say 90% of my students, I still have a good connection with, if you will. Charlize says, I'm in Colorado. What happened? Oh my gosh, girl. So listen, yesterday at the courthouse in Colorado Springs, right? So in El Paso County in Colorado Springs, everybody's going into the courthouse. They go in there, obviously, for court, right? We're in the building across the street, and the acoustics, because it's all glass, the acoustics, we heard pop, 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 pop. So it was like, I would say 4 to 6 shots. I read in the news, they were like, it was 9 shots. I don't think it was 9. I think people exaggerate, but it was definitely a pop, 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 pop. I think it was 5. It was 5 shots. And I was like, those are shots fired. Like, my hands went up. What were my hands going to do? I don't know. I was like, those were shots fired. And I thought it was in my fucking building. And my heart rate and my internal anxiety, I may look fine on the outside, but my internal anxiety went fucking poof. Then someone else said it's at the courthouse. So we all go to the window and everyone's running. And there's a guy down and he is dying on the sidewalk. And the guy that shot him ran, and the cop, I don't know where the cop came from, but he was just there immediately. He's got his gun pulled. The guy that ran dropped his gun, put his hands up, and then hit his knees and then went face down. The cop goes to arrest him. Meanwhile, the other cops are there. So the response was really quite impressive, although people at work were like, well, I mean, it's the courthouse. It better be impressive. There better be cops. All the cops came running out of the courthouse. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure it was this man's, unfortunately, this dead person's mother was there, and she is just falling apart. And then this guy's friend is on his knees, and my hands are shaking. My heart, it's going to make me get emotional right now. This man falls to his knees, and he's by the deceased, and he starts wailing. And I'm like, am I hearing him crying? Because we're in a building, right, across the street. So for me to hear him wailing and for me to hear the emotion was crazy. But that acoustic wise, I'm sure there's something to that, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. So it was wild. It was wild. And yeah, it really did get to me. I ended up in my Jeep just kind of crying for a little bit, but all right. Deb, I'm not doing any readings at the moment, but you are welcome to text me. My phone number should be on my website. And if you want to do a reading a little bit later, which I better look at the time. If you want to do a reading on Zoom a little bit later, it's 11:35 here. We can set something up, okay? I usually do readings on Fridays, so I do apologize for that. I don't know. I got on a roll and I'm going to stay on it if that's okay. Mom said, I love your authenticity. Thank you very much. Macy. Macy had a crazy dream visit last night and cried for an hour at 3 a.m. They're very powerful. They're very emotional. They're very powerful. And you probably needed that release, right? You probably needed to express that emotion. Courtney said, thank you for explaining that. You're awesome. Thank you. Can you check in if I'm a medium? We all have the ability, and I did just get the 9 of Pentacles, and right under that I got the Chariot. So those are 2 yeses for me. But we all have the ability. And I know that sounds trite and too easy, if you would. But it's kind of like the thing I just explained about Mozart and the piano. We all have the ability to play a piano. It's how much we put into it is how much we get out of it. I do think some people are inherently a little bit more sensitive, right? And someone brought up earlier the trauma that can play into that, because you learn to read people and situations and emotions and energies from a young age for safety reasons. And I do think that also can have something to do with it. But I did get 2 yeses. Andrea says, so basically like dreaming of someone. Yes, but times 6, right? So yes, you're dreaming of someone, but it's as if they are there with you. It is very surreal. It's almost as if you stepped into their world for a minute, or they stepped back into yours. I had a dream visitation with my mother years ago that I remember like it was yesterday, and I can't really tell the story right now or I'll cry, but you'll know when you have one, because it's so powerful, and you can set your intentions to have one. There's a lot that you can actually do in your sleep and in your dreams. I haven't explored all of it just because I don't have any more rabbit hole space to go down. But there's astral projection, there's dream visitations, there's journeys. If you're into shamanism, there are journeys. You can go to the upper world, middle world, and lower world. So there's a lot that we can do with a lot of this. Thank you, Jess. Yes, ooh, I'm at 52,000. Thank you, everybody. Let's keep tapping. All right. Hey, Amy. Harley is really Amy. And, she said, yes, that does mean mija. Thank you for that. That was a while ago. What language is Brazilian? Exactly. I literally, Jim, heard that on here, that they were talking or saying or talking Brazilian. And I was like, Spanish? Right? And there are some nuances within, because are we talking about old Mexico Spanish, or are we talking about Spanish from Spain, or are we talking about Spanish from Cuba, or wait, Cuba? Now let me fuck up, right? So Spanish is spoken in a lot of parts of the world, but it's kind of like talking to someone from Louisiana versus talking to someone from Washington State, or talking to someone from Oregon. You know what I mean? There will be differences. Even though we're both speaking English, someone from Louisiana, I remember this one little girl, I lived in Tennessee for a little while, in the Five Corners, actually. I didn't know how dangerous it was at the time. Anyways, this little girl came over. She's like, hi, can I play with Megan? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She was speaking English, but her accent was so thick, she was saying, hey, can I please play with Megan? And her grandmother had to come over and literally interpret for me what she was saying. So yes, there is no Brazilian language for anyone who didn't know that. It's Spanish. but there are still nuances within that. But the point being is you don't need to know other languages in order to do mediumship. Nai hao is hi is in Chinese. And then question mark. I'm not sure. So I don't know any Chinese, but I have spoken with straight up Chinese people who never made it out of China. I did a very emotional, beautiful mediumship reading with an American Chinese woman who was a first generation immigrant, and she wanted to talk to her parents who mom was still alive. I believe dad had passed. And we ended up talking to both because I read energy. So I talked to alive people and I talked to passed over people. And so I ended up talking to both and getting messages for both. But I did not need, they had never spoken a word, well, I don't know about a word of English, but they did not speak English. And so, yes, that is, yeah. Nina said, stick around 15 plus minutes to get your questions answered. I don't know if you're picking on me, Nina. Are you digging on me, ma'am? I'm not right now, Deb. Thank you so much. I was trying to do them in order. I don't have a Patreon, Mason. I probably need to start something like that. And I 100% do not understand Discord. Harley says, I don't need a man, but I want one. And I know. Girl, I know. Although at the moment, I don't even want that. So Alexa says, do you also feel other people's emotions and pain still on earth? Yes. So, and that's something that if you're really sensitive, sometimes you need to step back and say, and what, so let's say I'm doing the dishes and I'm in a perfectly good mood. Suddenly I'm overcome with, depression or sadness or grief. But I was just fine a literal nanosecond ago because I'm just doing dishes, listening to music, rocking out. And then all of a sudden I get this wave of emotion. Usually when it's like that, it isn't mine. It's someone else's. And I have to tell the emotion that I'm not in the place right now to deal with its emotion and my own. I'm trying to stay in a happy, energetic place. And so what happens is a lot of people who are depressed, sometimes it isn't even their depression. So I wonder how many people were put into insane asylums back before this was common knowledge and before we could sit freely in a house and talk on a phone about what would have been considered witchcraft in years past or what would have been considered mental illness in years past. How many people were ostracized? How many people were locked away for mental illness? Do you know what I mean? Because they felt other people's emotions to such a degree. So, all right. I do connect with pets, Andrea. I'm not connecting at the moment. Let's keep tapping on the free freebies up there. I will be doing an advanced workshop for messages in mediumship. At the moment, I believe that will be December 3rd. I will try and do an ad and I will try and do a video with more information. But it is an advanced mediumship workshop for people who are already mediums or who are already doing mediumship. So you don't have to be you don't have to be taking money for it, but you know how to hold the link and you know how to do mediumship. We will be doing an advanced one on messages. Pierre says, how do we get a reading? Go to www.soul.vip. You can also, because GoDaddy is such a pain in my ass, I'm going to try and hook up Calendly to GoDaddy, and then that will open my schedule up better because GoDaddy, like I either have to, it's a whole thing. I'm not even going to waste your time, but I am trying to make it better. Okay. Gigi says, I don't know if you'll make it to me, but any advice on my development? Go to my playlist for books and see which book resonates with you. But also make sure in our Facebook group, Gigi, I would love to tackle that in the Facebook group. So, Shawnee Burrito said that happened to my son. The Colorado Springs shooting? Or just in general, that also happened to your son? You're not the mom from yesterday, are you, Shawnee? Now I'm going to have to skip a bunch of messages to go find out. Sorry, I had an alarm go off. I'm sorry, I just got completely taken out by Shawnee's comment that that might have been her son yesterday at the courthouse. Or if you just mean that something like that happened to your son. Because if you're the mother from yesterday, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you a lot. Okay. Gigi, let's bring that up in the Facebook group, and I will do some teaching in the Facebook group on how you can do some more development, okay? It's a little too long and complicated to get in right here. And also, if anyone is on here who wants to be in my Facebook group, it's Energy Reader Mariana. And so on my page, somewhere on my page is the link to the group. It's Energy Reader Mariana's Energy Group, or fuck, I don't even know. I think it got, I'm sorry, I got really thrown off by the fact that this could possibly be that person's mother. All right, Allison loves the way I talk to people. Thank you. Yeah, Gigi, let's definitely talk about that in the Facebook group, and we could even do a live in the Facebook group where we have a conversation about that, and I can read the cards for you and everything because it's a little too in depth for right now. All right, I'm gonna keep going down. Deb, I told you how to get a reading, I believe. All right, I'm skipping quite a few. Oh, Deb is my dog that I have now, my childhood dog. Ah, I literally got my heaven card, and this is a yes card. So I love that. Yes. Okay. I also have to pee. Oh, Matan said, boo, do more connections. Oh, you're so fun. I love Matan. Okay, Sandy says, what happens if you want to believe but not sure if you believe? I hope you can understand. I absolutely understand, Sandy, because that's where I was when I started this. And sometimes, every now and then, I see these fake people on here, and I'm like, am I really doing it? But I have enough messages, and the coffee has gone through me, so I'm trying not to pee my pants. What did I just say? Yeah. So what if you want to believe? Evidence. If you want to believe, then the evidence is what is going to convince you that you're doing it or someone else is doing it. Because there's no way for me to get a piece of evidence other than through kind of this connection, right? So if you're not getting evidence, and this means specific evidence, this doesn't mean your mom is standing behind you and she loves you. It doesn't mean your grandpa's giving you a hug. That's not evidence. Right? And I go through the nuances in that when okay. I'm going to go through the nuances in that definitely in my advanced workshop for mediumship. I'm going to try to get to the bottom, but I have to pee, so I will be right back. Matan, hold down the room. Here, hold on. Let's see if Matan wants to come up. Oh, I got to go pee.
Hi everyone, Mariana's peeing. I literally was just on a call when she sent that request. Hi everybody. How's everybody doing? She's probably went to go pee, right? Hi everybody. Well, since she's peeing, I can hype up her classes. If you are an advanced medium like myself or other people, I highly recommend you take her advanced medium workshop. It's an absolute bargain, one, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a bitch and I would tell you not to do it if I didn't think that, but it's an absolute great experience. And I can tell you that as a former student, and I can also tell you that out of all the teachers I've ever seen on this TikTok platform, she's the only one that respects her other students and allows them to come up in the box and read with her, which I think is vital to their education. How do I find the Facebook thing? Great question. There is a link tree in her bio. You click the sunflower picture up above where it says Mariana, and it'll go to her TikTok page. That is a linked tree thing that you can follow to her Facebook. I will pull up the name of the Facebook group right now and tell you it as well. I swear, she should pay me for all these kudos that I give her, huh? Okay, let me see the name of the group. How many people are in this group now? That's a great question. The name of the group is Mariana's Energy Reading Group.
I am so creative. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, Matan, for your help.
I'm like eating, like, I literally got back from class like an hour ago and I'm literally eating like my snack.
Nice. Nice. For anyone who doesn't know, Matan went from California to Chicago for grad school, which I just think is just fucking awesome. And then I want to go visit him there. Huh?
Man, what the fuck? I hate that. Yeah. Gigi posted the name of the group in the chat for everybody. Thank you, Gigi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Courtney. We're wrapping up the first semester of
That's exciting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. No, 5 more to go. No.
Matan pointed out that the cord phone is called the landline. That's right. I remember now. So Chrissy says, I think it's an amazing ability, but I don't know if I would like it all the time. Matan, take that one because when he first came in, take that one away.
Okay, so when it came to my abilities and what brought me to Mariana and her first class was because I was going on FYP and she popped up and I was like, oh, she started talking about a class. And the reason why I wanted to take her class at the time was because I wanted to turn my abilities off because they were taking up the lack of my ability to sleep at night because I was so infused with all of the downloads, spiritual energies, whatever you want to call them. And then eventually, you know, spirits information. So that's why I went to it. So so then through her class, not only was I able to learn how to control it in a way that you don't let it overwhelm you, but I could then kind of almost like a dial on a stove, I could turn the gas up and down as much as we needed to. So if you want to learn how to kind of understand how to control it or understand how you can turn the gas on and off, Mariana is a great teacher to explain that because as someone who's taken other classes since, I have not met a teacher who explains and makes sure that you learn and recognize the difference between your own energy, someone else's energy, and the energy of spirit, and how to be able to control and kind of make sure all those energies are respectful of your own boundary as a person here physically on Earth.
That's a good way to put it. Thank you, sir.
You absolutely, if you can, take the class. I don't know if Mariana still does. Well, I don't know her discussion of how payment works for her now, but that's a great Christmas gift, getting a class. That's a great Christmas gift because personally, I'd rather have a good Christmas gift or birthday gift that gives me an experience rather than a physical object. So it is a great experience. And if you don't really want to do the full energy course when she does her animal communication, that's a great tiptoe into the main course. I'm like literally firing you up right now, but it's so true.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm getting all gassed up. I'm like, well, fuck. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I do take that very seriously, right? And I do take a lot of responsibility toward that for any of my students, right? Even these conversations on here, I take seriously. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. How do you take your class?
Okay. I had this anyway. My phone keeps fucking around. All right. Sissy Lee says, when someone buys tarot cards, will the cards draw the person in? Absolutely. And in fact, like for example, Matan has cards that I don't resonate with, and I have cards that Matan doesn't resonate with, right? So not only do they draw you in, they start talking to you in your own language, if you will. So Matan's experiences as a younger male are going to be different than my experiences as an older female, right? And so our decks, so even though he may have this same card deck, and this is where the skeptics come in and they're like, oh my God, they didn't say the same thing, but they pulled the same card. That's because his deck is going to talk to him through his database, his life experiences, his experience, his development, and it's going to talk to me differently. Now, we're still going to have a basic definition for the Four of Wands.
That's so funny. That was the card. That was the first card on top of my deck when I flipped it too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's so cool when that shit happens. But it's something to keep in mind that we're still going to respect the definition of the card in the history of tarot. We're not going to pick up the Four of Wands and go, oh my God, this means a demon is coming for you in a week and a half, right? This card doesn't mean anything like that. Well, none of them really do. But does that make sense? Because you get some people on here, they're like, oh, I read in tarot intuitively. No, 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 no. Tarot has a history. Tarot has a divination process. Tarot has definitions. While the cards will speak to you individually, if you get on here and act like the Four of Wands is really the devil card, you're just full of shit, in my opinion.
Well, it's the truth because there's a context that you have to. That's why, like you say, that's why you always used to tell us and teach us that the knowledge of the basic history and definition based of the cards are so important, because when you know those, you can also see your intuition naturally combined with that knowledge, which makes you a stronger reader. So one thing going back to this is Chrissy on if you go to VIP whatever Soul Circle dot VIP dot veryimportantpeople.com or whatever org, whatever it is, it's in her link tree. If you click on her profile, the little sunflower, click it, there's a link. All of it's there. There are certain tabs on her website where you can look to read about her classes, see some evidential stuff about her classes, rates, etc. So go look there. Now, the second thing that you spoke about, for example, Mariana and I both have both of these decks. I absolutely love this deck. I resonate with this deck 100% because it connects to my Slavic heritage. But Mariana likes it, but she doesn't. We have talked about maybe her different connection, or maybe lack of similar understanding of it in the way I do because of my own cultural experiences / context. Whereas this deck that Mariana has as well as I do, we both absolutely love, and they speak to us for different reasons, but they absolutely are, something that we both, resonate with. It's just really about how your personality, your life experiences, your life toolbox connects with the imagery, the meanings, and the even sometimes the physicality of the cards.
Absolutely.
Because people say the card stock doesn't matter, and it does.
You know what I'm noticing, Matan? You're so wrapped up in school and classes that you miss this.
Oh, I really? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I miss it very much.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you actually were talking about classes, because 3 or 4 of the people in my program are also card readers, and they want me to do a workshop.
Oh, I love it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like a cute little little wine night, and like basic like tarot basic concepts of teaching like the Rider-Waite system and why and like which each things mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Invite me or I'll help you. Either one. Okay. So someone did want to hear the definition of the tower. So Angelina said, yes, please, and thank you. Feel like I'm always going through tower moments on my journey. So I realized it was the wrong deck. It was this deck. It's called Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. I don't know if you have this one yet, Matan.
I used to have it, and I gave it to my cousin for his first deck to learn.
Aw, that's super nice of you, but get another one.
I will. I'm thinking about it.
So here's what the tower says, and I'll just read it because I shy away from the tower, and I had gotten it the other day for a question that I had asked, and then I read the definition in this book because every book is a little bit different, and I love this. So the key to the tower card lay in the crown blown off the tip of the tower. The circular crown never fit the square tower. It may be your situation never fit. And I was like, Just blew my fucking mind.
Incredible.
It may be you have evolved and moved past your current circumstance. We all outgrow things once essential for us. The key lay in weathering the storm and shedding the snakeskin when it is time to move on. Assert yourself or take the steps you need to take. This is why the toughest, scariest cards come near the end of the major arcana. It is only through facing the tough stuff that we may taste the sweet nectar of growth and evolution. Ruin, collapse, and release. Flash of brilliance. False illusions shattered. Destruction of what was never meant to be. And this had fit the question that I had asked so much. Change can frighten us even when it is being destroyed. Wait a minute. Change can frighten us even when what is being destroyed is not good for us. It is our comfort inside the discomfort that made us think we needed it. Just
So that's amazing.
I'm going to read this whole little book now. I'm going to read this whole little book now because a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, buy the deck, but you don't need to bother to read the book," which is not true. It's not true. Every tarot deck, although it still falls within a historical framework, right? Hell, I'm giving a class right now. Every tarot deck, even though it falls within a historical framework, is also dependent on the person that created the deck. And so some decks come without a book, right? And then some decks come with a book. And so you should always just give the book a look. Now, if the book is just your standard, the tower means destruction, holy shit, okay, right? Maybe you don't need to read it. But that definition, Meg, very Renaissance feel to this deck, very much. All right, so I read the Tower card, Angelina. All right.
Also, I'm not trying to plug my channel in this, but on my channel, guys, there's a video where I compare two decks from the same author. And in that, I also pulled the tower from both decks from the same author, and they look completely different and give completely different feelings, energies, vibes, which is another great, even within the same author, you can get two experiences of a card.
Yeah, because the decks are different, for sure. Sissy Lee says, should you shop in person for cards or online? Okay, absolutely. You'll do both.
Yeah, I typed in the response.
Oh, very cool. And here's the other thing. It's an addiction, so be careful. Matan, I don't think you had any tarot decks before you met me, did you?
I had one, but it was like in a box that I never opened. Like it was in the original case. I never opened it, never looked at it, and then I was looking to buy the Rider-Waite one that you recommended, and I remember I was like, wait, maybe I bought one of these a long time ago, and I opened the box and it was there, and I was like, and it followed the Rider-Waite. It's the one that I use all the time. It's this one that I use all the time. This is my very first deck from like 7+ years ago, and I use it all the time. It's this one.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I got one like that, but I don't think it's the same exact one. Everyone is talking about taking classes now. Make sure you go into the Facebook group because I'm also going to do some freebies in there. I mean, this is a wonderful Q&A, but I'm going to try and cultivate the Facebook group a little more as well. I wonder if that's close by. But I got one that was super similar to yours, Matan, but it's like an upgraded Luna deck. Anyways, I can't find it, but it's amazing. I love it.
I just thought of a really good video you can do for your Facebook is if you take all your videos on TikTok that are like the major like 5 questions asked, like what is tarot, what is this, what is that, and just cut them all together in one giant video like you did on the YouTube with the live readings and just post it in your Facebook thing because that's a great intro video. And you can do it once.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
One for mediumship. And then one for
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Which, by the way, Matan, I did send out an inquiry about people that want to be involved on my website, but I wasn't sure if I should send it to you with you being in your graduate studies because I feel like you might take on too much, but I guess that's up to you. You are a grown-ass man. But I need to forward that idea to you. But you also already have your own website. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Perfect.
Meg says hashtag going to school today with Mariana. I love that. I love that. Bye, Gigi. Oh, she already left, but
I messaged her in the comments.
nice. All right. Well, I think we're coming to the end of a really good Captain Celsius says, can we joke? You can absolutely joke on my page.
I love that.
Absolutely. I think we're coming to the end of our live. Sissy Lee says, I do have an addictive personality, right? Same.
Okay, so that's to see what you do is you put on Amazon or wherever version of how you want to buy your cards. You make a gift gift list, and you make people buy them for like your one present. So a birthday present, you send them the link. There's a deck they can choose. You have it for Christmas, you get a deck, and that's how I went through like one of my like 10 deck list in a year because people all bought them for a single thing. It's a great way where you don't feel guilty because it's not an over expensive gift, and it's still a gift that people will know that you'll enjoy, and you won't get addicted to buying them yourself.
I love that. That is a great suggestion. A great suggestion. So really fast before we jump off, Alexa says, is it normal when being sick, it's harder to communicate? Absolutely. With spirits. Absolutely. In fact, it's one of the few things that actually shuts me down. So anyone who is still listening and here, we have about what, 30-ish? People will say, should you stop medication in order to do this? You should never stop or start any medication in order to do this. If you look around at some people who I do consider real, you have overweight people, you have people who are too skinny. You have mean people, you have softy people, you have assholes, you have egotistical people. You have people without ego. You have people who put themselves down. You have people who smoke, people who get high, people who get drunk, people who take antidepressants, people who, do you see where I'm going here? And so none of that will stop you from communicating with spirit. The only thing that has ever stopped me is, am I having a bad day and I need a break? Or if I'm sick. What about you, Matan?
I agree with you, and I just want to say, as a future mental health provider, you are the only, and I mean the only person that I've seen that has ever said that on this app. And if that's not the number one reason to why you should book with Mariana as a teacher, that's it. That alone, with her other amazing qualities, but the fact that she respects the importance of how your spiritual experience does not have to dictate or affect your psychological, social, I just came from class, so psychosocial, cultural model of what you need.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And I have heard a couple of other people say the same thing. Unfortunately, it's usually the people who are fake that are like, oh, you can't do antidepressants and be a medium. Okay, honey. All right. So Sissy says you do want to book classes. So right now I'm finishing up the energy reader class, the fall energy reader class. I'm trying to do videos. It's a matter of time. And I think over the holidays, I'll have enough time to do a video type situation where we have a circle in person and then videos that you work through. And then, so after the new year, I will have other classes, and I will be doing again, I think December 3rd, an advanced workshop for mediums or spirit communicators, whatever you want to call yourselves, on messages, getting them what they are and improving them. And then we will also have like a little surprise type info thing as well. And so the first 2 hours will be instruction, and then the last hour will be practice, actually like practicing. And depending on the number of people, not everyone might get to read, but the goal would be that everyone would get a chance to read. So Sissy says gives her a chance to save up. And I will say, because I have looked at other people's prices, my prices are incredibly reasonable. Some of the prices on this fucking app are a joke, a literal joke.
I'm telling you, Sissy, if you want a good gift, have like 3 of your friends pitch in and buy you the class for a holiday gift, or like whoever in your life. It pays you back. In long term, it will pay you back in full.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everyone. If you're not in the Facebook group, please do go find it. Thank you for popping on, Matan. I think you probably have to get back to class, and I appreciate you popping on and always being such a support. He was literally one of the first people on this app to come and sign up for he was the first person to sign up for my class, my very first class, and one of the first supporters. So I've always appreciated Matan. I don't know if you were here, Matan, when I was talking about students and like kind of when they fall off and then block you, because there was a student I was like, and I just don't like, I'm like, why did I say something? Like, let me know. So either is it me? Is it you? Like, what is happening? Did someone,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just weird. But anyways, all right.
Oh, enjoy your appointment tomorrow, Chrissy.
Definitely, definitely.
With you,
Oh
fool.
shit. Very cool. I didn't even realize that. Very cool, Chrissy. And I am also going to try and I'm trying to set up Calendly with GoDaddy,
I can help you
Matan.
with Calendly. It's not that hard. I use it.
So I know, so Calendly is easy, but getting it to integrate with my appointments in GoDaddy. So I want
Oh,
people to be
right.
able, so if people click on an appointment in GoDaddy, what I actually want them to do is schedule on Calendly because GoDaddy sucks so bad.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You have to backlink it. That's hard to do.
Yeah. And I know there's a way to do it, just time and opportunity. So,
Right.
all right, you guys. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye.